What's up, guys? So today we're going to be taking a look at a 5-year-old Retina Macbook Pro and seeing if we can run any games on it. So what I have lined up for you today is a 15-inch late 2013 MacBook Pro. Now this features the top-of-the-line 2.6 GHz Intel Core i7. That's a quad-core hyper-threaded processor. It also features 16 GB of 1600 MHz DDR3 RAM. And this model features the NVIDIA GeForce GT 750M with 2 GB of VRAM. So this machine is getting on 5 years old, and there is certainly a stereotype around MacBooks, especially MacBook Pros, that they are no good for gaming. But can you actually play some games on this computer? Now obviously, I'm not saying that this is going to be a gaming machine, but if you want to have this computer for video editing or schoolwork or something like that, can you play some games on it on the side? So we're going to be testing a couple of different games today. So starting out with something easy, Counter-Strike Global Offensive. This can run on integrated graphics, and we'll see if this computer is able to step it up a notch. We're also going to be trying Civilization V, which makes very good use of a quad-core processor, so hopefully we'll be able to run that on here. And of course we're going to try to run Fortnite, because it's 2018, and what would a computer be if it couldn't run Fortnite? And finally, we're going to try to step it up with Rise of the Tomb Raider. This is a AAA game, came out in 2015. We're going to see if this computer can handle it. Now, all of the games that I'm showing you today are games that are Mac compatible and running in Mac OS. There are more options for games that you can attempt to run if you use Windows, but for the purposes of this test, we're going to be sticking with Mac OS. And without any further ado, let's hop right into the results. Alright, so here we are on the Retina Macbook Pro. So I've looked at a lot of pretty low specification computers on this series. We had a $200 tablet, we had a 2009 MacBook Pro, we had a MacBook that didn't even have a fan in it. But this is the most fancy that I've tested so far. We've got a quad-core processor, dedicated graphics, 16 GB of memory. This computer has some potential. Now obviously it's still a MacBook and it is 5 years old, so don't expect too much, but we're gonna see what it can run. Alright, so the first game that we're gonna try out here is Csgo. Let's take a look at the video settings. I have it set to 1680 by 1050 and we're running at low and medium settings, so we'll see what we get. Now I do have my frame rate counter turned on. Alright, so here we are in the game now, and it looks like we're getting a little bit of screen tearing, but we're running about 80 FPS. So I'm gonna go ahead and turn on VSync, because it looks like that might not be on. Yes, so vertical sync should definitely be on, and we're gonna go ahead and apply those settings. Alright, so we've got the frame rate pretty much pinned at 60 FPS, thanks to VSync. So there is a little bit of headway. We could probably turn the resolution up, but I'm pretty satisfied with how this game looks and runs right now. So obviously we are hitting a few lag spikes, but as we're getting into the game, it seems to be evening out a little bit. So it's not too bad. And honestly, I'm pretty impressed. This is certainly playable. Alright, so the next game that we are going to try is Sid Meier's Civilization V. So, taking a look at the video settings, this is what it's already applied for me. So, it put us at 1680 by 1050, and it's got low, medium settings. That should be fine. This game looks pretty decent, regardless of your settings. So I'm just going to set it running with a default specification. Now, this game is interesting because it's pretty light on the graphics side. So, a 750M like we have in here will have no problem running the graphics on this game. But where this computer is going to be an advantage over what I've tested in the past is we've got a really decent quad-core processor. And as predicted, this is running at a buttery 60 FPS. It is absolutely plastered at 60 FPS. And I have to say, this is good. This is very good. So obviously this game is pretty light on the graphics, as you can tell. But we do actually have a CPU that can keep up with the very CPU heavy aspects of this game. Now obviously this is just the beginning stages, and we are hitting a couple little spikes of lag as it's going through the turn timer and processing a whole bunch of other stuff. But we are holding steady. So I have played a couple of rounds of Civ V on this computer where I've progressed further. And once you start building a larger empire, the frame rate does start to drop a little bit because of that CPU. You know, it's an older computer. It's got a 4th gen CPU, a Haswell. But I haven't really experienced anything significant or anything that made the game unplayable. So this game I give a definite pass. It runs very, very well. And of course, it wouldn't be 2018 if I didn't try to run Fortnite. Now I know that I say that, but I've only run it on this computer and the MacBook. That wasn't my fault. I just literally, for the life of me, could not get it to run on the 2009 MacBook or on the $200 tablet. But it runs on here, and we're going to see how well it does. Alright, so here we are in the game, and oh, okay, humongous lag spike. So I'm going to keep it going, see if we can even out these frame rates a little bit. But it looks like we're getting some decent frames and some massive lag spikes. In my experience, that can kind of happen at startup, and it'll kind of even itself out. Alright, so we're going to turn stuff down. We're going to do 1440 by 900 with 84% scaling. Let's try that. You can already hear the fans kicking in. That looks pretty good. So we're running probably 50-60 FPS. There's still a few lag spikes, but they seem to be reduced. Obviously, it does not have the best visual fidelity, seeing as we're running it at a scaled resolution. It is pulling 60 FPS, and it looks like our frame dropping is decreased pretty significantly. Obviously, the fans are going pretty high, but if you use headphones, which you should definitely do, it's really not too bad. And overall, this is certainly playable. As we're going, it's getting smoother and smoother. I certainly would not have thought that it would be playable. But here we are, running Fortnite on this MacBook Pro, and it's certainly playable. Alright, so finally, we are going to try to step it up a notch, and we are running Rise of the Tomb Raider. So this is a AAA game that is now supported for Mac, which is pretty cool. And we're going to see how it runs. So I have it on the auto-applied settings. Looks like this is a cutscene, so it's running at 30 FPS. So that I'm going to ignore. I have the screen resolution set to 1440 by 900. And we're just going to see what happens.
You should stay here with them.
Not a chance.
That was a real tearjerker. Okie dokie, so... Oh, man. Yeah, that's pretty much what I would have expected at this point. We're running at 9 FPS, and the action is quite slow. So, I'm not entirely sure what settings it has us put at here, but it's definitely not playable at this frame rate. Yeah, 12 FPS, 11 FPS. Hoo-wee! Oh my goodness. I mean, it's a beautiful game, but it's like watching a slideshow at this point. Oh my lordy. I can't even click. Okay, well, that's not gonna work. So yeah, Tomb Raider, definitely a fail. I'm sad to say there is absolutely no chance that you're gonna be able to play this game on this computer. And I really don't want to turn the resolution any further down than 1440 by 900, otherwise it's going to look like it's in Minecraft, so we're just going to call it quits with this game. So, there you have it. This computer is pretty decent for playing lighter titles. Obviously, you're not going to buy a MacBook Pro to play AAA games like Rise of the Tomb Raider. That's not what it's really meant to do. But games like Csgo, Civ V, and Fortnite certainly run on a machine like this. And if you're buying one of these for video editing, video production, any other things that you want to do with a MacBook Pro, but you also want the ability to play some Civ V with your friends, hop in a match of CSGO or Fortnite, this computer can definitely do it and do it well. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. As usual, make sure to head over to my subreddit. We have a lot of great discussions over there. And I will catch you guys in the next video.